He will be like, it's Badullah. Everybody will notice him first.
A parent at the top of their game.
Twice he won the World Champs and 4 times he won the SEA Games.
Forrest received a lot of awards and we are one Michelin restaurant.
A child following in their footsteps.
Many people, oh, you're Chef Samson, oh, you must be very good.
Oh, he's dropped. What?
No, can you do the other style? I don't like this.
What happens when it runs in the family?
I want them to be a champion and build their own legacy.
It's no more about us. It's about our children.
Hello. Okay, come on, let's go. Ready? 1. Yes. New York. 1.
I didn't really know much about dancing. It's through meeting people that they are telling me, say, hey, do you know who your father is? Or do you know who your grandfather is? And I'm like, no, they are just my grandfather and my father. But later on, I start to realize that my grandfather was the one who started all this dancing in Singapore.
Go. Woo.
He walk, he may sometimes he limps a bit. But when he dance, he's a totally different person. He's the best dancer. I don't think anyone can beat it, even now, even youngsters. He's a different person when he dances.
I want you to turn, not to look here. You have to do a complete turn to make sure you do a turn and face the mirror. We try, Ready? 5, 6. My father is Mr. Lau Po San and my mother is Jenny Kwek. They are Singapore's undefeated ballroom dance champions. Actually, I do not like dancing because I don't know how to dance. But they said something like, your father, Singapore's top professional and you cannot dance? So that worked me up. Watch again. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. Then open, close, open. Okay.
I've known Sonny for, 60 years? We went to school together back in 1955. Towards the end of the 1950s, he was winning dance competitions with his sister. He became very popular.
I started at the age of 10, Sunny the age of 14. Then my father is very strict. Why? Because footwork, timing, the rhythm is very, very important. When you do a mistake and then you're not concentrating and then you get frightened, just run away, that's all. So hide under the table.
He and his sister has been hired for parties all over Singapore. They're always billed as a highlight of the king and queen. They used to do a kind of a floor show together.
When we got this King and Queen of Rock and Roll, I'm very happy that is, because I didn't expect it. I think my father and mother are very proud of us. During those days, Sunny and I think we make a name for ourselves. You feel very proud and happy because people are coming towards you, They ask you for autographs also.
At the time, Sunny was a household name in Singapore, and I idolized him as well. After school, I always watch television, and it's the Sunny Lau dances. That's the time that I wish I was one of them. And of course, my wish came true. He was my teacher. I did appear with him on television once for a show. We are now in 263 Outram Road. This was my father's studio, Po San Dance Studio. This is the same original, yeah. You can see that it's a couple dancing, There was a small little hall next is the main hall where we teach. After we left, nobody stays here until now. My father getting older, he retired and he told me to take over the studio. And then as the students get more, so I decided to look for another studio with a bigger space. So I went into Tiong Bahru Plaza.
That's my first studio. I turned it into Sunny Lau Dance Studio. But of course, I make my father and mother understand that even I open the studio, I will look after them.
When we were young, he wanted us to follow his footsteps. But the only way to keep us in the dance studio was to assist him in his classes.
I was afraid that they mix with wrong people, so I make sure that they stay in the studio whilst I teach. So I give them extra money so that they can help me.
It was good money actually, $2.50 per hour, and in the 70s it was quite big. 1, 2, 3, 1, go! I don't think Sunny wanted us to do anything else except dancing. No football, no games that is going to hurt our legs. If there's football and then he'll come with a cane or something like that, so basically it's quite strict for us to protect our legs.
My father did not allow me to play sports, definitely. This does not accept it, but he has to accept it because I do what I want to do. During the teenage years, I was really focused on my sports. I picked floorball in secondary school. I just enjoyed the sport, and I was selected to play for Singapore in Australia and Czech Republic. People, they will say like, hey, do you know who your father is? Your father is Sunny Lau. He's so famous. So you one day you're going to be famous too. So you're going to be like a good dancer. It's natural when your dad is someone, they would expect that you are somewhat going to follow that footsteps. My parents never forced me, but I can tell that my father wanted me to take this as a profession.
Well, I teach the Singapore Management University Ballet Club, and with all these university girls, I actually needed boys to dance with them. So there was once I invited Jovyn to come over. In a way, I forced Jovyn to dance.
Initially, I was more interested in sports. I think the turning point for me when I realized that I wanted to do as a career was when I started to see more of better dancers when I went to competitions. I wanted to become one of them.
Maybe Sunny and Alina didn't want to force him. I was glad that I was able to force him. Right? And just on the side note, he actually found his wife in my studio.
It didn't really cross my mind to take dancing as a profession. It was after national service. I had to decide what I want to do with my life. I actually went through all the tests in Army to go through as a pilot. I actually passed the test, but at the end of the day, I decided to drop the pilot course and pursue dancing. It was actually Cindy who sort of encouraged me to take dancing as a career. Me and Cindy, definitely. Dancing brought us together, and that is our common passion, our common joy. There was no regrets in choosing this path because now I find it more and more fulfilling. I started to enjoy helping and teaching the less experienced dancers. All these experiences definitely fuels my passion. The more I do it, the more I enjoy it.
I was very, very pleased as a father when Jovyn won his first competition. I'm very pleased with him. I could see that he loves dancing very much.
Jovyn, as an amateur, he was also a champion. That's why they all run in a family of champions. It's the gene, perhaps.
In Singapore, we don't really have much teachers and the knowledge here to be passed down to us. So we had to travel overseas to learn from the top teachers and top dancers of the world. We have teachers from Russia, Italy, Australia, and China. It made me understand a lot more about dancing.
You can come later in about maybe 2 hours time. I'll be free. This is where I record my students. Yeah. They come for lessons, I mark their attendance.
He remembers everything and every of his student very, very well.
So I have all my students' names, contact number. For those who do not come, I will call them up to make sure they come earlier the following week. Then I give them the makeup lesson. All right, I'll show you some of the CDs that I have where I used to teach.
As a teacher, he's absolutely very strict because he's a perfectionist. Everything he does, he wants to make sure that everything is tip-top.
When you go up, this is the level track. Don't do this and this.
Go forward, slow, up, quick, quick, slow. Yeah?
Jovyn is not dependent on his father. They are quite far apart in that sense. They have their own mindset. It's a different era altogether. The modern days teaching and learning is totally different.
Personally, I prefer teaching. It's a different fulfillment for me because when you are able to impart a knowledge on your students and you can make a difference in their dancing. Slow, quick, quick, slow, natural turn, slow, quick, quick, outside, lock, quick, quick, slow, natural turn, quick, quick. Not bad, not bad, okay.
I think that Jovyn is very different from other teachers in that they will just tell you how to do the step. But Jovyn will teach us essentially how do we listen to the music and how do we move with it.
Last year, that was the year where we had our very first competition. A lot of the times, Jovyn just says, you know, you're not out there to win, you're just out there to have fun, have a good time. So that's our main goal.
I think Jovyn's a really fun guy. Like,
it's almost like having a close friend and a close mentor rather than an instructor.
Now this one here, I have to pivot, turn.
I completely had no idea that Jovyn came from one of the families that kind of started ballroom dancing in Singapore. Until I think one day, one of our friends just kind of like did a quick Google search. Then found like Sunny Low and all the Low family and everything, and we were just like, whoa, what the heck? Where did that come from? So that was a big surprise to me, and I think it was a big surprise to most of us.
My 4 boys, only 3 are in dancing. Alvin, Melvyn, Jovyn. I've lost Alvin. He passed away at the age of 47. So now at the moment, my 2 kids, Melvyn and Jovyn, are in the dancing world. I made sure at that time to talk to them that you 2 brothers, you should not have any grudge against each other as far as dancing business is concerned.
Who's the best dancer in the class?
I would like to say it's me.
To me, if you ask me, I would say, yeah, all of them are very good dancers in their own right.
Usually, my dad will be a third eye for us just before we go for competitions. The third eye will look at how the whole dance is like and they'll give us comments based on what they see and how to improve it. That was about 1 week before the competition.
Okay, drive your head where you're going. Yeah.
Usually before major competitions, we'll ask Daddy for advice and we will also ask him to check our dancers during our practices.
I feel when you did the throwaway, you bended too much.
He is very, very experienced in this field and we trust him a lot.
Okay. So far so good, you know. What I like, I feel that you got to show more on the feeling.
Some points where he tells me I disagree.
Every time the person who goes back when you lower, you don't lower so quickly. You try one more time. Dancing is opinion. Some people may like your style, some may not like your style. Whether I teach my own son, I always make sure that it's a teacher and student relationship, not father and son relationship. Okay, stop. Jovyn, I want you to be more definite in your head. In other words, when you dance, you must be very definite in your head. You must drive your head in that direction. You must Whenever I teach Jovyn, whatever I tell him, he will try his best to do to please me. He has his own whatever ideas, but of course he wouldn't dare to argue with me. First step, very important, yeah? Yes. Steady, steady. Yeah.
The little thing that irks me is that people assume that I became this way because my father was a good dancer or good teacher. But I have to work hard. I have to make sure my skill is there. Anybody who has put in the hard work will want their hard work to be recognized.
Jovyn doesn't like to be compared to anybody. He wants to develop everything like it's from himself.
That's better. Yeah. Okay? Man's left foot comes here, point. Lady's right foot comes here, point. Don't do this. Point and then step. You should point, lift up slightly and step. Point, step, together, side. Back, replace. Point, step, together, side. Back, replace. Dancing is in me. I love to dance, I love to teach, and when my students can do what I tell them to do, that's the happiness I get for that day. Many years ago, one asked me, "Excuse me, we wish to know when will you be retiring from dancing?"
If they hear about learning from the Lau family dance, you know that all the techniques have been passed down from generation to generation. From my great-grandfather, passed down to my grandfather, passed down to my father, and then passed down to myself. 1, 2, back with 1. The Lau family has been teaching dance in Singapore for 4 generations now. Sure, we have our own different styles of teaching, but when you say you do ballroom dancing, people say, "Oh, I know, Lau family, Sunny Lau." Whatever we teach, it's something proper.
We are 4 consecutive generations of dancers. So I would say everyone in the Lau family can dance, all right? But of course, not all turn professional.
Myself, MELVYN, Jovyn, and even my grandson, TERRANCE, they are in the same profession. Of course, I'm very proud of them. When will you be retiring from dancing? My answer is very simple. As long as my legs can carry me, I will not retire.
Well, Sunny is approaching 80 right now. They might stop at any moment. Who knows?
So you can play any song. I prefer to use this because I can put many songs inside, so when I go outside to teach, I don't have to bring the whole CD. I just have to bring one thing.
Yeah, I know, yeah. In fact, my good friend, he wants to do all for me. All on waltzes, all on cha-chas, all on rock and roll. Asked me, I got a pet, but I didn't want. And the reason is because I need to slow down. In dancing, what I tried was to give them more flair, more together. I want them to feel more music. Feather finish must have this, you also. Their dancing is very good, but you need more, like facial expression, feeling of music, and to dance in harmony. Okay, not bad, good, very good. But I'd like you to improve more. If you both can, I'd like you to be aware of each other's body weight in what we call connection.
In a teacher, a coach, or mentor is that you really have to say it like it is and cannot sugarcoat it, because the more you sugarcoat it, you won't really improve. In this case, I agree and I will definitely apply it.
Yes.
Good.
I don't feel the need to pursue what my brother, my father have achieved. Because for me, the world is always changing even as we speak. Circumstances are different, opportunities are different. We have different strengths, so of course we tap on our strength.
So where's the Tuesday? Terrance, Tuesday cannot.
He's almost 80 and he's still teaching and still traveling to the studio almost every day. Our one-to-one talks where he will tell me things about life. Up to today, I still keep in my head and I still remember. And I think that is also what helps me in my career and in my life as well.
The next hope is on my children, being the 5th generation of Lau family dancers. But as of now, I'm teaching in schools, so trying to get the younger generation to love ballroom dancing the way I love it. Through my lessons, I also try to incorporate some life values to the younger students, where we need the discipline in dance as well, which can be applied to life. And so hopefully ballroom dancing will continue through there.
My dad, my brother, the older generation in my family, having a skill that is quite niche, definitely I think they would want to pass it down to the younger generation. I would hope my 2 sons pick up dancing and continue the family legacy. But then again, in my family, we do not force anyone to pick up the skill. In dancing and I think in anything else, you can't really force anyone to do it. They can only be good at it if they really have the passion to pursue it.
They're carrying on this legacy of the Lau family. And my only hope and wish them best of luck in whatever they do, and hope they really can work hard and be future champions.